this is Greg Ewing. I'm one of the research librarians at the H. Douglas Barclay Law Library. I'm the Assistant Director for Faculty and Outreach Services. I'm going to be talking this afternoon or today about some sites for legal research. All of these are available on the internet. None of them require registration or fees or anything like that. But I think they're worth knowing about. Some people would use them when their funds are limited or something about legal for Lexis and Westlaw. First one I want to show you is Google Scholar. If you go to google.com, that's the initial search screen you're familiar with. If you click on More and then Scholar, you'll get to a slightly variation on that called Google Scholar. So you can see from the initial screen here, you can search patents or you can search legal opinions and journals. My recommended approach would be to click on Advanced Scholar Search over on the right. Then you'll get, and I'll just run a search here and show you what the results end up with. So you can search by exact phrase if you want to. So we'll just search for re ipsa loquitur. You can limit your results by jurisdiction. Option down here is New York courts because I've already done it before, but you could select a specific court to search if you want to. They go down jurisdiction, different levels of courts by state or by federal. Just run a quick Scholar search so you can see how it comes up. You get New York courts. I can create email alerts on this search if I want to. If I just pull up the first one that comes up using Google's relevancy rankings, you'll see it's Dermatosian versus New York City Transit Authority. Gives you the citation information, the date. This was a 1986 opinion. Some of the features I like about this service is it gives you page numbers from the original. So they're jump sites if you need to quote something from a particular page. Then if there are if you're reading along and you want to follow any of the argument, it does provide links through Google to other court opinions, so you can read the reasoning behind the opinion. The other thing you can find here that I think is sort of interesting for a free site is you can click on How Cited. This won't give you shepherds or anything sophisticated like that, but it will give you an idea of how later courts have cited your case, which portions of it they've quoted, how many courts have done that, if there are books that cite it, probably using the Google Books search engine. It'll give you a link to those as well. So there's a fair amount of interesting information in there. This is Google Scholar. It's free. It does seem to go quite far back, but it's hard to tell for each jurisdiction exactly how far back it goes, whether they collect all of the cases or not. My recommendation to the students is to try it. Try it in your jurisdiction. Maybe try some searches here first before you run it in Lexis and Westlaw to see if you're getting results that are of interest, and then you can confirm it in the fee-based sites if you have access to that. But anyway, I think it's worth knowing about Google Scholar for legal research. It's also a way to just find, if you had a cite to this case, you could just pull it up and read it on Google if you wanted to. There might be a reason you'd want to do that. Next one that's of interest is the Legal Information Institute. It's hosted at Cornell Law School. There are also legal information institutes for a variety of countries hosted at different places. I'm just showing you the federal page for Cornell's site. What they've done is collected it from other places. Sometimes you'll link out to another website. The good thing about this site is it does tell you how far back their opinions go. So for instance, the U.S. Court of Appeals, for each one, it lists the date that's included, the First Circuit from January 2000 to the present. Then there's another site that has some coverage. So it does tell you how far back and how much material is available for each one. So they've done that work. That's very helpful. My sense is that for some things, Google goes a lot farther back, but this one at least tells you what they have, and that is important when you're running searches, so you can see what's going to be included or what isn't included. So that's just a quick introduction to the Legal Information Institute. The next one I wanted to show you was a site. This is a government site. called Thomas, short for the Thomas Jefferson. It's hosted at the Library of Congress. This is my go-to site for current congressional information, things like bills, bill tracking, how your representative is voted on particular issues. Another way to use it is just to find all of the pending legislation on a particular topic. So I ran a search here for terrorism using the words and phrases feature in the bill summary and status. This is the current Congress, which is the default, although there are advanced searches for older things. So if you run the search for terrorism in the words and phrases, you come up with a result list of bills, and it tells you just on this first page, it tells you the bill number, the popular name of the bill, who the initial sponsor was, co-sponsors, things like that, last major action. Of course, if you clicked on one of the links there, then you get, this is pretty standard, you get the text of it, the summary prepared by Congressional Research Service. You'd look at it in PDF if you wanted to, and you can actually find it. My experience, this is very current. So this is where I go if a faculty member or student is trying to track something, or they just want to know if something's been introduced on a particular topic, or if you know it by bill number, this is a good place to go. That's Thomas by the Library of Congress. The next one I wanted to show you is the United States court system website, uscourts.gov. It's not as useful probably for legal research, although it does have a lot of critical information on it. I've often used the court map. So if you click on that and open it up, it gives you a map of the U.S. for the federal district courts, federal bankruptcy courts. If you want to go to any one of those and you need to get to their website or details about their location, looking for local court rules or court forms or local information like that, this is a good one-stop place to go, nationwide coverage to find that information. Every federal court has their own website, so they'll post information about it. This is a good single place to go to it. The other thing that does have on here are official forms and fees, so you can look up forms by category, for instance. And these are forms put out by the Administrative Office of the United States Courts. You know, if you want to look up the form for subpoena, you can open that up. It'll put it up in a form that you could use. I believe it'll be in PDF format. And you can just use that form. It's running a little slow loading it up here. But anyway, but you can use that as a way to get to your to that information. Okay. And here's the form. And it is actually a form fillable form, which is great. So you can actually type on it, which is useful. The other thing I wanted to show you, the last site on my list here, is the United States Government Printing Office. There's something called FDSys, which is a federal digital system. The GPO is the agency responsible for printing things like the Code of Federal Regulations, the Federal Register, things like that. One thing that I think is very nice about this site is if you click, for instance, on the Code of Federal Regulations, you can get the current code, which is, you can get that other places as well. The other thing that's quite nice is you can get the historical code. So if you needed a particular provision of the 2005 CFR because some regulation affected one of your clients and you needed the exact language of what it was in that year, you can browse through this site and get to the actual section that you want. It'll be in exact PDF format, so it'll look just like the original. And again, this is free. And you know, I think this is a good way to get to it, is to use this GPO site. This is the actual text of the 2005 CFR. It looks just like the print one, and you can get to it for free through the GPO site. I thank you for your time. And again, my name is Greg Ewing. My contact information should be attached to the file here. Please send me an email if you want additional information or if you have suggestions for other topics for legal research that I might provide. Thank you again. Bye.